Hi, I'm Raylene Taskoski, and I've talked to over 10,000 women about sex over the past decade. Welcome to the Stand-Up Comedy Sex Ed Podcast.
How long does it take the average man to orgasm?
And
How long does it take the average woman to orgasm?
and also,
Why is it so hot in here?
audiences agree it's brilliantly funny. Raylene makes sex ed fun. This show is entertaining, factual, and relatable.
There's nothing worse than being halfway done with sex and feeling your vagina shut down on you.
You've got to see stand-up comedy sex ed.
I am ready to go do that comedy show.
Welcome to the Stand-Up Comedy Sex Ed Podcast, hosted by Raylene Taskoski and some other guy, girl, guest, or guru. And today's guest girl is Jennifer Harris, aka Salty Ginger 2. That's a number 2. So what's that all about?
So I am a fetish girl and a kink girl, and I love sex. And I've not been able to get that for the last few months because of COVID. So I decided to start an alter ego. And that alter ego is Salty Ginger 2. And she takes lovely, sexy pictures of herself and videos. And I post on Instagram. And some a little bit on Facebook. They're a little bit more not as lenient on things. So I don't post as much on there. And then I also have an OnlyFans account. And an OnlyFans account is where I post a lot of more, R and X-rated content. And I have a lot of fun doing it.
That sounds exciting. How did you get into that?
So I had a breakup, which, a lot of things happen because of breakups, right? So I had a breakup of somebody that I had been with for 8 years, and I was celibate after that for a little over a year. And then I said, fuck it, I don't want to be celibate anymore. And I decided to jump down the deep end. And I knew about a local fetish club here in my city. What my roommate had gone to it in the past. So it was kind of vetted. It wasn't like it was super scary and weird. And so they have what's called a tasting night the first Saturday of every month. And so they have different stations set up that you can try different kinks and fetishes. And I went. They had a really nice in-depth orientation on the do's and don'ts and rules and all that kind of stuff. And so there's a whole bunch of people in the orientation. I would say probably like 30, at least 30 people.
Wow.
And yeah, and so got a membership and went in and tried out, I don't know, I think 3 different things. And my favorite was sensation play. And I call sensation play like the fluffy bunny of BDSM because it's a nice little gateway drug to get into more intense things. Because sensation can be really nice and light and just make you feel the sensations of your skin and body and stuff. But it can also be painful if you like pain. So I started doing that. And then they have different groups and activities at my club. And so I started attending and meeting people. And I got some sensation things on my own. I got this really cool, really coarse loofah mitt and then a rabbit fur glove. And I'd go around to people and I'd be like, do you know what sensation play is? So that was like my networking in to people. And so some people knew it and some people didn't, but it was a way for me to basically say hello to people more easily, because I had a thing to do, it wasn't like I had to start a conversation.
I feel like you could do that anywhere.
I could. And people would tease me because they were like, you should just take this to the mall and start doing it. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. I was thinking tailgating.
Let me make you feel really good right now. And so it was a really easy way for me to meet people and touch people, which at the club, you're like, that's part of why you're at the club. So I was doing that since last January, 2019, and really enjoyed it. My club has a great community, and I've made a ton of friends and stuff like that. And I mentored under somebody to learn more about sensation play, and impact and stuff like that. Impact is like paddling and spanking and stuff like that. And so,
for the record, I do not like impact play. Like, I do not like to be spanked. It's not, that has to do with growing up in a Christian school. Like,
yes. No,
paddling never felt good to me.
Yeah.
I like to fantasize about it, but I don't actually want to be paddled.
Exactly. And I mean, I like spanking on me just a little bit, but not too much. There's a very fine line before I punch in the face. So like, I totally get it, but I like doing it to other people. That's for sure. So, and it's also been interesting, like being a sensualist, you know, it's all like pleasure and yumminess and stuff like that. But at the same time, I've had people who've been my bottom who want pain. And so I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. And then I venture outside my box and like, oh shit, I think I really like doing it. So I've realized that I am kind of a sadist when it comes to it, but I have to learn more about that side of myself before I can play too intensely, because you're causing pain. So there
Right.
is, you know, lines there that you need to make sure that, you know, you stay in and stuff like that. So
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Have you ever met anyone in your club that was from your outside world?
Yes. So there was a group discussion thing that I went to once, and there was somebody from one of my local networking groups for my other business that was there, and he's like, hey, so shh, don't say anything to anybody. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem talking about sex and all this stuff to anybody, but I totally get it. You want to keep it down low.
I think it would be funny at your local BNI meeting in the corner, you have cookies for kinks.
Yeah, exactly.
I was at a BNI meeting a couple of weeks ago. It was somebody else's. I was just coming as a guest, and they told me about a girl who had come in, and she was a dominatrix. And so she had just come in and done like her 30-second speech and told everybody what she did and gave them their website and never came back again. I was just like, that one would be super hard, because how are you going to pass on a referral from that one? So I used Jennifer's services, and I was very pleased.
I mean, you never know what you're going to run into need-wise.
Listen, I've got this friend.
Yeah, I'm really stressed out right now. I don't want to think about anything. I want somebody else to take control. What do you think I can do? Well, I have a referral for you.
Exactly. I met this guy, and he's very bad, and he needs to be spanked. Here's a referral.
He's a dick. He needs to be put in his place.
Exactly. Could you imagine that networking meeting? Oh my God.
That would be amazing. That would like totally make my year.
I would like to see somebody have that like on their business card. It'd be like, you know, Joe Schmo photographer underneath dominator, or dominatrix, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Because I'm starting to get into sexy photography, so that you might see a business card of me like that.
Hey, I finally remembered that question.
Yeah.
Are people who are making money on your OnlyFans, are they considered sex workers? Because I heard you say it previously.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I consider myself at this point a sex worker.
Or an adult entertainer. Or are those two the same?
I mean, I'm not, you can label it however you want, adult creator, you know, I mean, however way you want it. But at the end of the day, I'm a sex worker, you know, and I'm not ashamed by that in any way. It's the easiest way to say what I do, you know, I mean, it's, I will say that my content, so here's the other, so this is something I didn't say before, but here's the thing about a lot of content that you'll see on OnlyFans. So this is a warning to anyone who decides that they want to go on OnlyFans and just start subscribing to people. You're going to get a lot of shitty content. I'm just going to tell you up front.
Like
you know, you've got these girls who are basically, because, you know, anyone can set an account up, right? And so you have these girls who think that they can just go and repost stuff from Facebook and Instagram that are completely G and PG pictures, you know, and that they're going to make money on it. And if their account is a paid subscription account and it's locked, you see no preview of what you're going to get. So, you know, it's one of those things that you're just like, well, she looks hot from her little icon. So let's try, you know, and there's videos on YouTube of guys doing this just because they're like, you know, let's see what kind of content's out there. For me personally, I take a lot of pride in the pictures and video content that I do. You know, I've got, you know, a really good app that I use to edit my photos. You know, I tend to be more creative, but that's me by nature. I'm a very creative, artistic person. And I'm not going to put out some basic fucking pictures, you know, that are just like lame. Right. In my opinion, you know, I mean, there are a few like, you know, in real life, everyday type of pictures that I've posted just to, you know, cause I'm like, oh shit, I need to post something and I don't have something ready, but it's very far and few between that I do stuff like that. You know, unless somebody's specifically wanting, you know, content that looks a certain way. Like the other day, somebody wanted me to do this little like 3-4 minute video of me cleaning like the living room in only a tank top, and then I'm talking to them like they're my partner, like, hey babe, can you come in and help me clean? And then I turn around and supposedly I see them and they're hard, and then I'm going to give them a hand job, right? So then the scene progresses like that. So, you know, there's content like that that's very basic. I have no makeup on, I look like shit. But that's what they want. That's their turn.
That's the wifey experience.
Exactly. That's exactly the wifey experience. So, you know,
versus the girlfriend experience where you would have makeup on.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, but there's a lot of content out there that is just, it's lame, or it's content that I'm personally not willing to do at this point. That's just, it's not my thing. You know, it's not my kink, you know, it's not my level of sexual stuff that I want to do. And that's okay, you know, because your kink doesn't have to be my kink.
So tell me a little bit about how OnlyFans works.
So basically you can have 2 accounts on OnlyFans. As a creator, you can have a free content account, which needs to be all like at least PG-13 type of content, no nudity. And then you can have a subscription account. And so that can include whatever you really want to post. And people can tip you. People can pay the subscriptions. They can tip you for custom content. And for the free account, you can have locked content. So basically you have all these, you know, PG-13 pictures, and then you're like, and then you've got stuff that, you know, they can pay to unlock. And then the interesting thing too about OnlyFans is that it's set up like an MLM and for sex work, because people who refer you, who use a referral link, they wind up getting 5% of what you make. That's awesome.
So basically you can just be a pimp and make money.
Yes. And the girl who set me up works for a direct sale company. And so she has very much long-term experience with stuff like that. So she has taken that side and run. I think the last time I heard, which was like April's, she made like 40 grand in April.
Holy crap. Maybe I'll get one. Can you have one, not post any content and just recruit people?
Yeah, you can. So like, and then on your page, you would basically be like shouting out to your content creators. Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel like it's going in the wrong direction. for me, but
yeah. But I will say that that's, you know, it's an unusual thing. So like, for instance, I've been a creator since March 16th and I've made about $1,000. So it's not an obscene amount of money. It's not too little amount of money. It's not, you know, it's enough to have fun with, you know, and buy some stuff that, you know, I wanted. I've gotten a ton of free sex toys on Twitter, which is nice.
Really?
Yes.
They want you to use them and show them off?
No, so they basically, it's sellers on Amazon who will send you the toys and then you leave a 5-star review.
Wow.
And honestly, I've gotten probably 15 toys that way, and there's only been one so far that I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? Like, and I still haven't left a review for it because I'm seriously perplexed, because I'm like, I don't even understand how this works. So it's that's taking a lot. That's saying a lot, because I can come up with some bullshit stuff. But all the toys have been really great. Like I've been very impressed with all the toys that I've gotten so far.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah.
So you have some stuff to talk about, some sensation toys?
Yes. So sensation, like I said, is like the fluffy bunny of BDSM, in the sense that you can use anything. You can use a t-shirt. You can use a remote control if needed. I mean, you can use just about anything for sensation play. The best way to kind of get somebody in the mood is to make sure, of course, that they don't have a lot of shit going on. You know, like, I've got to do this, that, and the other. Like, make sure that their mind is able to just stop, right? And then for me too, for my bottoms, as well as for when I bottom, I put a blindfold on and either earplugs or noise cancellation headphones on, because otherwise I get too distracted, and so a lot of people get distracted, and so that helps, making sure that they're in a comfortable position, whether they're sitting, laying down, standing, room temperature is nice, all the things, right? So you're not going to be distracted by stuff. And so then you have like a little table or something set up with different elements. I like using different textured brushes, and loofah mitts and soft things, things that make sounds. So even if you don't like spanking, you can still use a wooden spoon and it sounds different, you know, and you can run it along. You can.
I don't like wooden spoons.
I know.
That was and when I was growing up, that was the main punishment. Go get the spoon. No.
Yeah. I've broken a spoon on somebody's ass before, so so I get it. But think about, you know, don't think about whatever you do use as a one-way tool, meaning think about using it in different ways. So even with a feather, like, you've got the softness of the feather, but then you have the little stick part, right, that the feathers are coming out of. Well, it's usually kind of pointy at the end, so then you could run that along somebody, you know. So think about using it in different applications, which is really nice.
I know you had said that sometimes you walk along the aisles at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Yes, Lowe's or Big R. Yeah. I mean, once you start looking at everyday objects, like, I have
every store becomes a sex toy store at that point.
For real. Like, I was at IKEA and I was like, that spatula looks really nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I have also thought that to myself.
Yeah. Big, it had holes in it, and it's big paddle part of it, and it's metal, so it'd get cold just with ambient temperature. And so, you know, after somebody's been warmed up a little bit, I place that and they're like, oh. So, you know, it's a nice contrast.
I used to say at my parties when we would have them, but it's been, you know, like 9 weeks since they've been able to work, that when you're making love, you use all 5 of your senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. And to take out 2 of your senses, like they did in 50 Shades of Grey, they had the blindfold and they had the earphones on. You take out 2 senses, it forces the other 3 to be heightened, which is where you're going to find that this sensation play is more erotic. But for like somebody like me, I am very ADD. I can't have sight. I can't have sound. I don't like to have sex to music. If there's a cat scratching in the hallway, if I've got a light coming through the window. So, thank God my house is 300 feet off the driveway. But every now and then somebody pulls into my driveway to pick up my neighbor. And if I am having sex at that moment, I cease to be having sex, because I'm like, in the yard. Like, I can't concentrate.
Right.
So for somebody, and you know what, I sell sex toys for a living, I can't use vibrators because they have sound and they have light almost always. And so glass toys are something that I really enjoy, because even at room temperature, it's still on average 15 degrees colder than your body. So you don't need to really cold it any more than that. But like you said, spatula at room temperature, just put that on a body that's nice and warm, and you're just like,
Yep.
and then like every blood cell in your body just like zoom, hey, what's going on down there?
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yep, my favorite toy is a glass toy. So I get it.
My company doesn't sell glass toys anymore, which I think is a huge mistake. But I was in Cape Cod last year, and we swung by their, I think it was called Toys of Eros, and they had this great collection of glass toys. And it was funny because my husband and I had never been in a sex toy store before.
What?
Never. Because before I started selling the product that I sell, I had never had one. And then everything just came from my company. Right. So, but we don't have glass toys anymore. So we walk in and there's this great display of glass toys. And my husband says, ooh, you might like one of those, which I took to mean, I would like you to get one of those.
Right.
And so I did. And I go up to the register and I'm telling the guy, because he's like, we don't sell too many glass toys. And I'm like, that's because people don't understand them. So then I go through my demo and I'm like, just put the toy right here in the crook of your elbow. Here, feel how cold that is, even at room temperature. And now all you can think about is the corner of your elbow, because that's where the toy is. Can you feel it? And I said, and it's non-porous. You don't have to worry about,
Right.
you can clean it really easily. And if you put it in a glass of cold water, it gets slightly colder. If you put it in a glass of warm water, and the next thing you know, there's a big circle of people around me, and I'm sitting there selling glass toys in the middle of somebody else's sex toy store. And I just
like, we need a reorder.
He actually gave me a 15% discount for telling him how to sell them. So
that's awesome.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So I'm good at what I do.
Yeah. Well, when you're passionate about something, that tends to it happens, I mean, that happens to me with a lot of stuff that I do. It's like, I just talk about it because it makes you happy. Have you tried any of the natural stone dildos?
I haven't, but I did at a podcast that's coming up probably 2 or 3 right before yours. I talked to some guys in England and they had a rose quartz stone one. And I immediately went and looked them up. Those things are expensive.
Yeah, they are. I would like to get one, but yeah, they are.
Pretty pricey.
Oh, and then so let me talk about indie sex toy makers. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen them, but there's like sex toys that, are fantasy toys, right? So they're like, they could be a giant tentacle, or they could be like an ogre dick, or, I mean, there's like all kinds of things out there, right?
No, the only fantasy toys I've seen are the big black ones, and we don't carry those.
No. So yeah, so there's this whole thing. There's a ton of indie makers making silicone, like crazy shaped things. One of the biggest companies is called Bad Dragon. Now I'm intimidated by that company because they're massive. But last week when I was making some content, I was using my normal toys and I was just like, you know what? I think I want something bigger. And so that's the first time I've ever thought that. So I was like, let's go online to this one company that I follow on Instagram and let's order some. The problem was user error. I was so excited that I didn't pay attention to the description. I just looked at the pictures and I just in my mind was like, oh yeah, that's the size I want. So I order and the price was fine. And I was like, okay, great. Da, 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 da. And they came in this week and I was like, wah, wah. So something that I thought was going to be like 9 inches tall and like huge around wound up being 4 inches tall and like 2 inches around. So I'm like, damn it. So I was very disappointed. And so instead I went to my local sex toy shop because they're open again now, thankfully. And
that seems essential.
I got it. Yeah, and I got a giant fucking cock. So so that made me really happy. And I created some new content with that.
Nice. Did you do one of those things like people do a box opening party where you're like, look what I got?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I was so excited. Like I wound up I had already washed it and stuff because I wanted to create the content like right then. So I didn't want to have to worry about that part. But I had like my normal size dildo and then the new one side by side. And I'm like turning it and I'm like, do you see the difference here? fucking massive.
That's
But then it made me
hysterical.
realize, like, shit, I think I can even go bigger. So that was eye-opening for me too. So like, even though I think the Bad Dragon ones are like way above what I think I can do, I think I could probably do it. I mean, women push babies out of their vaginas, so
Exactly. Well, there's a difference between letting them out and letting them back in.
I guess so. Yeah, so it's fun, you know, it's fun creating new content for people asking it, but also things that I come up with that I get excited about as well.
Hey,
So, yeah.
I'm 100% cool with whatever works for you. I kind of I leave the judgment out of it. There you can tell when someone is just saying something not for them, and when they're saying you're a freak for thinking or doing that. And I feel that strongly, like even with my line of work, there's a difference between somebody saying, hey, I've never heard of that company or blah, blah, blah. And people who go, I've never heard of that company. Not that I'm into that. And I'm like, you don't shower, you don't shave, you don't have sex. What the fuck?
Right.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You probably need lube, and judging by your attitude, an orgasm.
Yes. Very much so. It amazed me. I talked to my mom and sister years and years ago about sex toys, and they were both like, I don't need anything like that. I'm like, have you never made yourself come properly? Because if you've not, we need to make that happen. Like I make myself come typically a lot better than most partners, but you know, it's you knowing yourself at the end of the day.
I have, at the beginning of my stand-up comedy sex ed show, I usually say, you know, some people say toys are not for them, to which I respond, cookies are not for you either, but you've clearly had some.
Yes.
So it's not a need, it's a want. Yes. Nobody needs a sex toy. You can want a sex toy. You can want a different kind of a relationship. I look at sex toys as like pizza. I could eat pizza every single day of the week, but I don't want the same pizza every single day of the week.
Right.
You know? Sometimes I want it super fancy. Sometimes I want a dessert pizza. Sometimes I want a pizza with something weird on it. Some fucking people put pineapple on pizzas.
I do. I think it's amazing.
I do too. I meant myself. I'm weird people. But that's kind of what sex toys are. It's adding something to your pizza that's new and different that you might enjoy.
Right.
Or I like to say steak, because I'm a big steak person. I could eat steak every single day of the week, but I don't want it the same. Sometimes you want it Oscared, sometimes you want it teriyaki, sometimes you want surf and turf. Sex toys are surf and turf.
Now I want steak.
Now I want surf and turf on a pizza.
Yeah.
There's not even any of that around me.
I'm like, damn it. Now I'm thinking about food.
Yeah. Last Friday, we went to a food truck that was a lobster food truck, and I've been hardcore craving lobster ever since then.
Oh, nice. One of my friends posted on her Facebook, there's a meme about, I'm going to put like Texas Roadhouse butter on me and you can lick it off. Cause like, do you guys have Texas Roadhouse?
Yep.
And their butter is like so sweet and yummy and delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I just took it like 5 steps beyond, and I'm like, I'll do this and this. And like, let me add all the food things and lick it off for you. It's fine. That's how desperate I am for touch right now.
That's so sad and so awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm home with my husband and my kids, and I'm just like, stop touching me.
Yeah. And I don't. I mean, I did have a play partner a few weeks ago, but that was a little lackluster, unfortunately.
Is it because you had to wear masks?
No. But I did tell one of my friends who's like really into all the things here, you know, and I said, well, hey, listen, we could all wear masks and I can wear gloves and then just body lube you up and just give you a massage.
Exactly.
Right?
We could even put like a little mask over your penis. We'll cut a hole for it. We'll just douse it down with some Purell. You'll enjoy that.
Oh, no.
How's that for sensation play?
That's right.
Is it Bernie?
Oh, it's so bad.
You know that rug rash you have from tugging on it? That's going to hurt.
That's going to hurt real bad. Make you think twice next time. Right. Here's some lotion.
Exactly. All right, so I like to end my podcast with a question from this deck, Things They Don't Teach You in School. And it is a crazy mix of fun facts, random trivia, and totally useless knowledge. So our weird sex question of the week is this. Do human birth control pills also work on monkeys?
My dog
Those are your
answered. I
dog
don't know if you
answered.
heard. Yeah. My dog says yes.
Yes. Well, and the answer is on most monkeys, yes. Because
I would think so. They're
genetically
similar
very
to us enough.
similar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another one, are men more unfaithful than women?
No.
No. Current research shows that men and women are unfaithful to about the same extent.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting though, because a lot of people assume that's not the case. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
It's like when they say men like sex more than women. Not really.
No. Right. Yeah.
Not from my research.
Right. Exactly.
But libido is libido, and it's different in every person. All right.
Yes.
So Jennifer, how can people find you?
So they can find me on Instagram and Facebook by looking up Salty Ginger 2. Again, that's the number 2, not written out. And then on OnlyFans, it's onlyfans.com/Salty Ginger 2 or Salty Ginger 2 free if you want to do the free account.
Okay. And if you would like to have an OnlyFriends account, find her first so she can send you the referral link. Let her be your pimp. It's cool.
Yes. I will be your OnlyFans referral.
There you go. You can find me on Instagram at standupcomedysexed or standupcomedysexed.com. I've set up a Facebook group just for this podcast so you can participate in polls, ask questions, politely share an alternate point of view, and generally let us know what you think of this episode and any other episode. So search Stand Up Comedy Sex Ed Podcast on Facebook, and please subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to it and share with your friends. Thank you so much for coming to talk to me, Jennifer. This has been very fun and very enlightening. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.